Hi, I'm Steve. I'm a kitten. I'm almost 5 months old. I'm black. It's Halloween, and I'm a black cat. Please subscribe to the OGGM Adventures and help him hit 1,000 subs so he stops using me to shill his vlog. Thank you. Hello and welcome. Good morning. It is I, the Westcoast Grognard, the king of the scrub DMs, the OGGM. And it's Friday, which means it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game news we might have missed. And the number one story, of course, is from Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast, in its continuing attempt to make Dungeons and Dragons inclusive, has released a D&D after-school kit. Where was this in the 80s, 90s, and first half of the 2000s? Do you know how many schools were trying to get together after-school kits and after-school D&D programs? My high school had a Dungeons and Dragons program during lunch break. Oh my God, it was so hard to get schools to first acknowledge gaming and then to get a D&D club on school. I mean, when I was at Humboldt State, we tried to get a game club on school, the Fantasy Gamers Guild. The amount of troubles we went through. Now Wizards of the Coast is just giving these things away for free. That's right. You can get an after-school kit for your school for after-school programs. I did not come up with that tagline. That's Wizards of the Coast tagline. It's right here. After-school kits for your school's after-school programs. I'm not the king of grammar. I mean, anybody who's seen anything I've written should know that I tend to not use grammar correctly, words hard, which is weird because I have a degree in communication. But Jesus, after-school kits for your school's after-school program. As opposed to just, hey, after-school kits. Anyways, these are free to local schools or libraries. They include one copy of the D&D starter set, instructions and guidelines for club organizers, a quick demo and learn to play guide for dungeon masters, easy to read character cards, and a poster to help promote your club. And yes, I just sent away for one. Why? To see if I can actually get it, because technically I work for a school. In fact, I technically work for two scholastic organizations, one of which is a nonprofit organization that is recognized all over Southern California. So will they send me one? If they do, I will definitely review it for you guys. But yes, if you have a school or any kids that are in school and want to help the school start an after-school kit, now Wizards of the Coast is like, here, have some free stuff. Have some free drugs. Remember, the first drug is free, kids. After that, you got to pay for it. Where was this support when I was a kid? When my brother was a kid? Where everybody I game with was a kid? Oh my God. Why? It's too late. Literally, Wizards of the Coast, it's too late. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to milk the popularity while you still got it and try and bring in new players because you're losing your current player base. But, you know, if you'd supported the hobby like this in the 80s and the 90s and the aughts and the aught-teens, or even in the last 5 years, wow, maybe the amount of negative press you have right now might have been from here to here. I don't know. It just seems sort of anticlimactic and a little too late. Is there anything else going on in the world of gaming besides that? Because, you know, we like to spend our Fridays with our cats taking a look. If you are a fan of the Kingmaker Adventure Path for first edition Pathfinder, considered by many to be the best Pathfinder adventure path, the kingdom building rules alone from Kingmaker helped create a lot of the post Kingmaker module stuff that Paizo did for Pathfinder. So the Kingmaker Adventure Path came out. It concluded. The kingdom building rules were so popular that they then made a whole book dedicated to kingdom building. And then that sort of spun off everything they did after Kingmaker was sort of influenced by the popularity of Kingmaker. I love Kingmaker. Of the Pathfinder module adventure paths I have read, it's maybe my favorite. If you are interested in sandbox gaming, West March style play, Kingmaker Adventure Path is great, and now it's available for 2nd edition Pathfinder. It will include everything that was in the original, plus some new stuff, plus conversions for D&D 5e. So, yeah. Hey, remember the other day when we talked about that Brandon Sanderson guy and how he killed the internet with his $24 million Kickstarter for his super secret book series? And then there was a series of figures he made for his setting, the Stormlight setting. And those figures kickstarted for, was it $1 million? It was the biggest Kickstarter of the week. And then, of course, there was some vlogs about how Brandon Sanderson is trying to kill D&D, or Wizards of the Coast owns Brandon Sanderson stuff, and the usual confusion that these people do with their vlogs when they don't actually read the post. Shout out to the person who has been farming my content and admitted that he was farming my content. So thanks, dude. I guess I'll take that as a compliment that you think my content is so important that rather than doing any actual research, you just farm me. Just give me some credit, dude. So yeah, Sanderson's coming out with a role-playing game. It's called the Stormlight Role-Playing Game. It's based upon the Stormlight books by Brandon Sanderson. I've never read any of Brandon Sanderson's stuff, I don't believe. I know the guy just pours crap out, and that they're always like mega, over 5,000 page books, and he just puts them out. Either he is the most prolific writer since Stephen King, or he might have a couple other people on staff. Because at the rate this guy puts out books, multiple 5,000 page novels is daunting if he's actually doing it on his own. But yeah. Anyways, if you are a fan of his world, he is working on a role-playing game. He's working on it with the Brotherwise Game Company. Don't know who they are. Mostly they were focused on the miniature stuff, and they made a board game called Unearth. So coming off the $40 million, actually I think it was like $49 million by the time it ended, $49 million Kickstarter for the new Stormlight books, he's now doing a Stormlight role-playing game. Other than that, we don't know anything about it. We don't know if it's going to be a fresh new system, if it's going to be 5e, if it's going to be Pathfinder, if it's going to be Savage Worlds, if it's going to be OGL, if it's going to use Blades in the Dark. A lot of people have used Blades in the Dark to make games. So yeah, way to go, Sanderson, making his own game. Could this be the game that kicks Wizards of the Coast down a peg? Could this be the Pathfinder of 2023? I mean, the guy made $40 million by kickstarting some books, which people didn't know anything about because they were secret. So maybe? I guess we'll see how well the Kickstarter does when it starts. I don't think we will expect the Kickstarter till 2023. And the game to actually start production till 2024. Wow, just in time for a anniversary of another game company. Mercer, if you're going to make your own game, now would be the time to start kickstarting it, or at least start slipping. Or maybe he's going to wait to the end of campaign 3 before he announces that he's making his own game. I know people say, "Oh, Mercer's not going to make his own game. He's 5e for life." Except, of course, anybody who says that doesn't actually pay attention to anything that the Critical Role, Mercer, and Towson Publishing have done, or the way that Mercer is running Critical Role right now. So yes, I've had people, say, "Oh, Mercer's not making his own game. He's loyal to 5e. Look at the support he gets from 5e. He'll never kick the 5e drug habit." Except, it's just like it's just like what I said a couple minutes ago about talking about the Stormlight $40 million Kickstarter without actually reading it and saying how it related to D&D. If you actually paid attention what was going on with Mercer and Mercer's publishing company and stuff Mercer has said and the direction the game is going, It's not a matter of if he's going to make his own game. It's just a matter of when. It's in his best interest financially to make his own game and have 100% control over the Critical Role IP. Just like it is in Brandon Sanderson's best interest to have 100% control over the Stormlight IP. And if he's going to do a board game or a role-playing game, it has to be his. It can't be Dungeons and Dragons Presents, because that way he has complete control over the IP, which means Mercer has complete control over the Critical Role merchandising. So when you buy that Critical Role lunchbox, 100% of that profit goes to Mercer. When you buy that Brandon Sanderson Stormlight breakfast cereal, pumpkin spice flavor, limited edition only, it'll go directly to Sanderson's pocket. So yeah, there we go. Anything else going on in the world of our hobby today? It's the fall equinox today, if you did not know, which means it is the shortest day of the year. No, is that the winter equinox? Is the shortest day of the year. Yeah. Winter solstice, summer solstice. Summer solstice, longest day. Winter solstice, shortest day. Equinoxes are the most medium day. Anyways, it's technically the official beginning of fall, which means it's technically the official beginning of pumpkin spice season. How many pumpkin spice flavored food challenges will I do in October? That looks to be it from the tabletop role-playing game news. Number one story, of course, is the Wizards of the Coast after-school kits for your after-school programs at your school. They said that. I did not make that up. And Brandon Sanderson making his own role-playing game. People admitting that they're farming my content. That's newsworthy. So, yeah. I am the OG GM, the Westcoast Grognard, the king of the scrub DMs. If you appreciate the content, let me know. If you want to support the OG GM, links down below, including to the new copyrighted, trademarked Westcoast Grognard fashion line. You can be a fashionable scrub GM like me. Support, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you soon. Yeah. I guess I have to read a Brandon Sanderson book now. Can anybody recommend one to start with? And I have to get a new camera because I am getting tired of this bobbling thing, and I'm sure you are too. See ya!